So
pushed back a week?
we're still a little bit a ways off from that. I mean, commencement is a big deal, and it's coming soon. That is on our list of things that we are considering. We're hoping to get through these next couple of weeks, you know, the immediate issues, get through those right now, and then we'll determine what to do with some of those others that are down the road. There are many different options that we could end up doing, all the way from holding it to canceling. I mean, there are different things in between, but we're not ready to make that decision just yet, but that is most definitely on our list of things to consider.
How is this affecting your senior students who, you know, it's their last year,
Right.
they want to have all these events, they
Yeah.
want to mingle with their friends, just kind of...
You know, it's so unfortunate, specifically because of those students who this is their final semester of their college career, and it's being marked with something like this. But this is new to all of us. This is something that is unprecedented. We have never dealt with this before. And higher ed in general, all across the country, we're all trying to deal with this and figure out how we can do that while A, still getting students the quality education that they deserve, and B, keeping their safety in mind, and C, also, how do we contain this for not just our campus, but for our entire community. So all these decisions that we have made have had those points in mind.
How hard was it to get to that
It's
decision?
been a very difficult decision. But in the end, we have to do what's best for the Bradley family. And this is what we think is best to help to contain this. And so many of us are working together across the country and making these decisions to work on social distancing, to work on different things like that, so that we can do our part in helping. Like I said, this is unprecedented. We're rolling with it as best we can, just like everyone else is, and things are going to continue to change. So when we tell people we are transitioning to online or virtual courses, and our goal is through April 12th, that may end up being extended. We don't know that yet. So we're trying to work just a couple weeks out at a time, but we are putting contingency plans in place for beyond that. And we are meeting sometimes twice a day with various groups to determine what we do next.
You mentioned you had been in conversation with OSF about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, one of your students is getting symptoms. Can you kind of
Sure.
describe that again?
So OSF, our Dr. Higgs, who is our campus physician, she's in direct contact with OSF, and we have a partnership with them through our campus health services. And they have requested that if we have a student, that they not go to the emergency room unless it is an emergency situation, obviously. But if it is something more related to, you know, respiratory illness or whatever, we want them to come to health services on campus, so that way we can assist with an influx of people who may be going to the area hospitals. That's at OSF's request. However, those students who are on campus that are planning to go to our health services, they have to call first. We won't take any walk-ups. That's the CDC's recommendation. So if there is a student who is in need of some health services, number one, they have to call first. And number two, if it's not an emergency, then we ask them to make sure they come to health services and not to the emergency room as per their request.
What does this mean for super sectionals at the Renaissance?
You know, we're following everything that IHSA is putting out. Those things are changing as we go. That's not necessarily our call at the moment, so we're waiting to hear from them, which is where I go back to things could change in an hour from now. So as for that specifically, I don't have the details on.
Are all the Bradley students who were studying abroad, do you know if they've come home?
So not all of them have. Majority of them have. Some of them are in other areas that are of lower impact, and perhaps it's more dangerous for them to travel. But we have been in contact with them regularly. We do have the majority of students that were there back in the States. I believe we have fewer than 20 that are still abroad. I don't know the specific number, and I don't have the list of where they are in front of me, but we have been in contact with them regularly. Some of them actually have dual citizenship, so they're like, well, this is where my family is, so you know, I'm going to stay here. But we have a very, very detailed study abroad department here on campus, and they've been reaching out with those students. The same goes for our Hollywood semester. We do a semester in Hollywood for a lot of our communications. Actually, it's open to all, but majority communication students, so we're in contact with them as well. Their spring break is starting next week, just like the rest of the campuses, so we're working through things with them on how they'll continue.
This seems fairly unprecedented. is that?
It is. This is absolutely unprecedented for Bradley, and I mean, for all of us around the globe. I mean, we've never seen in higher ed something like this that we've had to deal with on such a mass scale. So we're all learning as we go, and that's why I keep emphasizing to people, especially parents who call and they're concerned and wondering how we're going to do things. We're still figuring out all the logistics, and it may take us a few days. But when we get those details figured out, we will communicate to our students, our faculty, our staff, our parents, the media, the local community. So we just ask people to really have some patience with us and with everyone as we go through this, because we're all trying to figure it out together.
I do have I don't know if it's random or I'm just curious, voting, because election stuff's coming up very soon.
Yeah.
Students that maybe are around here that signed up for voting or things like
Sure.
that. Does that affect?
I don't know how that's going to play out. That's, going to end up coming from your local Board of Elections as to how they're going to hold that. Our students who are here would have gone to a local precinct to vote, or if they're gone and back home, they would vote there. So I don't know the answer to how that's going to impact them. I think that's probably going to have to be done on a completely different level than what we have going on here at Bradley.
How concerned are you about people that already have spring break destinations?
All we can keep telling is what's out there. Practice good hygiene. Be cautious. Practice social distancing as best you can. I know that spring break is a great time for students. They want to go to warmer climates and enjoy themselves and have a good time, but we just really continue to tell them, please think about things. Group gatherings, what you're doing. Don't put yourself in harm's way. And practice all those different things that the CDC says, and keep track of your symptoms. If you start to feel something, then you need to keep an eye on it. But the biggest thing, which you all know we've been talking about from day one, wash your hands, don't touch your face. Try to keep those rules of good hygiene in place. Okay.
So, did we cover anything about the president, that situation? Sorry.
Yeah, so a little bit of good news with all of this is that we did announce Bradley's 12th president this morning, and that is Dr. Stephen Standiford. He is currently the dean of the business college over at Butler University in Indiana, and he is ready to go, fully engaged in Bradley. President Roberts will be here through the end of May, and then Dr. Standiford will be taking over after that. I believe June 15th will be his start date, but he's engaging with us now, and he's very excited. And he said if Bradley and Butler were to match up by chance somewhere in the NCAA tournament, he is going to wear red. So
how's he handling all this stuff kind of going on? 'Cause it's
well, he's dealing with it at Butler. So I mean, they're dealing with the same things we are. They made the decision to close the other day, so he's fully aware of everything that's going on. We've been working with him, as President Roberts is still our president right now at this time. So we're working with him, but Dr. Standiford also, we're keeping him in the loop on things. But he's dealing with this at his current institution, so he's fully aware of what's going on, and he's having to make these difficult decisions there. So he'll be fully abreast of the situation when he comes over to Peoria.
Was it an easy decision to kind of bring him on?
I wasn't part of the selection committee, but from what I've been told from everybody who was involved in it, it's a fabulous choice. They are very excited about it, and he's going to be a great addition to the Bradley University family.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.